So today I'm going to show you guys how I used Fable. I recently went to a couple of antique malls to search for collectible items and hidden deals that maybe haven't been repriced in a couple of years. I also went to a couple of retro game stores in my area where a lot of the prices were questionable. I had to include a comic book store, and I also went to Walmart. So after all that and seeing prices all over the place, I decided to do something about it. I went home and had Fable add a scan feature that would pull up recent eBay sales and live listings, so I have multiple reference points when comparing prices I see on items. Let's see if it gets fire red correct. Picture, and let's go to sold. Correctly showing the last sold. Since the new feature worked, I headed to the first spot, the antique mall. I quickly noticed the Pokemon stuff, but I wanted to look around for a little bit to see the variety of things they had in there. I was surprised at how many cool things were in there and not just a lot of antique junk like I assumed. No offense. Once I got a good look at most of the stuff, I went back to the sealed Pokemon. I gotta skin this one. I've never seen this set, so I truly had no idea whether it was priced low or way over market. As I looked and scrolled for a bit, I found one for $35.99 after shipping. I also wanted to see what the live listings were for this item, which were around $30. Is that Maradona? For 20 bucks? After seeing Maradona, I knew I had to look it up, and although it was being blocked a little bit, the search was still successful, and surprisingly, it was priced right at the last eBay sold listing. And again, I had to check the live listings to compare it, and I feel like again it was priced right at the market, so I decided to pass on this since I'm only here to look for actual deals. I noticed right away how delusional these sellers were. This is an antique mall. Who is coming to these places looking for sealed Pokemon when it's priced higher than anywhere else in the country? These are the ultimate scalper prices. I'm actually impressed. eBay and TCG prices seem like hot sales compared to these. I'm gonna take this one. $5. Also see a little find up here. One of the best World Cups, the one with the best World Cup ball. $13 here, and it has it all, so let's scan it. Fun fact, this was the World Cup that Spain won for the first time. Now 16 years later, they got another. When eBay sold listings were shown, most of the recent sales were all around $20, some even in the mid-20s, so I had a feeling that this was going to be the first deal I came across. And just to make sure, I had to go check the active listings, and I saw some singles selling around the same price as this complete in box I had, so I already knew that I was for sure going to take this one home. After spending about an hour at that antique store, since it had so many things, this was the one deal that I liked and I had to leave with. These are both, this one's from 2000. We're gonna check this one out real quick. I wasn't sure if I would get meaningful results since it's not a new action figure with packaging to help the app know what set it belongs to, but surprisingly, it found an exact match from eBay sold listings right away. Look, this one's for 30. Yeah, we're taking this one. Next spot was a retro game store, and quickly Conquer caught my eyes. If you know, you know. It also seemed underpriced. This retro game store had a section for every game system, but like most retro game stores, they all have questionable prices. Of course, Conquer had to be the first game I scanned since I remember it going well over $50, but maybe the market crashed for it or something else is going on. As I saw the most recent sales, it was definitely under market, but since most of the other games they had at the store were overpriced, I thought it was too good to be true, so I had to ask the worker if she could come over and open it so I can check if it was complete in box, and as soon as she did, sure enough, it wasn't. Nintendo 64, so I need a game for it. Not sure what I should get. Oh, I remember Diddy Kong Racing used to play that with my cousins. The OG Nintendo 64, they would have it for $64. We're gonna have to scan that. I need all of these. I need Mario Party, Mario Party 2, Mario Party 3, 64, Mario Kart, and 007. That's the lineup. Since I haven't owned a 64 since a kid, I had no idea what games are going for in the big 2026, but I had a feeling they shouldn't be as expensive as they were marked, since many other games here were priced well above the market. And there were guys next to me that kept pointing at the games and asking themselves, why is this so much? Loud enough for the workers to hear. And as we see, most of the recent sales and live listings online are almost half the price as what are being sold at this location. Are these deals or not? I recently bought a Nintendo 64, so this Power Ranger game caught my eye since I've never played it before and it seemed well priced. When I checked it out and saw that it was the only game near market price, I decided to go with it so I can test my newest addition to my collection. Gotta have them take those. The best way to test the comic book part of my app is to come to a comic book store. It's called Comics Together. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, it's pretty cool. As someone who never got into comics as a kid, I had no idea where to start looking, but I know comics are what started a lot of the superhero movie series like Marvel's. Dune section. I didn't even know they had Dune comics. I was curious to know what Dune comics sell for online, so when I saw that the most recent sold was for $7.95 and active listings were going for $10 or more, I knew that this was a deal, and not to include the 20% tag it had. See, we ended up getting this one since it was 20% off of $5. Gonna test the app at Walmart, see what these are about. See if they scamming. Might have to pair this with this. Let's check it out on the app. I decided to check Walmart action figures since I recently noticed that GameStop also scalps action figures and marks them up. So now I'm also competing with a corporation for collectibles, except I'm not reselling mine like GameStop resells theirs. What do they go for? 5. I'd say this was successful testing. Came out with a couple things, didn't even have planned to buy. But we're gonna add this to the collection. Ended up being a good way to test Indexmark, but there's still a lot I want to add. Being able to scan something in store and get an idea of what it's actually selling for will definitely make future hunts a lot easier. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments.